Τηλέφωνο επικοινωνίας 718 707 3120. Ιστοσελίδα www.elasfm.us.
Εδώ λοιπόν φίλες και φίλοι, επιστρέψαμε πίσω, επιστρέψαμε στον Ελλάς FM, επιστρέψαμε στο ραδιόφωνο του ελληνισμού με τον Γκετάσεν, ένα υπέροχο παραδοσιακό αρμένικο τραγούδι. Στο μικρόφωνο είναι ο Δημήτρης Φιλιππίδης και όπως κάθε μέρα έτσι και σήμερα μαζί στους 97 και 2 μεγακύκλους, μαζί στο www.elasfm.us, application του Ελλάς FM και φυσικά στο live στο Facebook. Κάντε share, κάντε κοινοποίηση την εκπομπή μας. Έχουμε πολλά να πούμε και να δούμε και είμαι πολύ χαρούμενος γιατί έχουμε στην άλλη άκρη της τηλεφωνικής γραμμής μία Αρμένισσα που το λέει η ψυχή της, όπως το λέει η ψυχή όλων των μελών της Επιτροπής. Η συγκεκριμένη κυρία είναι ερμηνεύτρια και είναι και ηθοποιός εξαιρετική και βέβαια μας συγκίνησε όλους με το τραγούδι το οποίο ερμήνευσε στην διαδήλωση, τη μεγάλη διαδήλωση του Σαββάτου. Θα κάνουμε την συνέντευξη στα αγγλικά και θα κάνω τη μετάφραση στα ελληνικά. Έχουμε μαζί μας λοιπόν, και την ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ, την Άννη Djirdjirian, η οποία είναι μαζί μας. Η Άννη, she's a great performer, a great actress, but first of all, she's a great Armenian. She's one of the people you see and you get excited with a passion for their own homeland, with a love for their own homeland, with a love for the people who are fighting on the first line. I'm so happy to have Annie with us today. Barry Aravot, Kalimera, good morning to Annie.
Wow, thank you Dimitris. Barry Louis, good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us this morning. I know that after a very long weekend, it's not easy to be on the air, but you did it with much happiness and joy, and I'm very happy to have you here this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I would do anything for people, even if it means waking up early.
Excellent. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ την Άννη, η οποία είναι μαζί μας μετά από ένα μακρύ Σαββατοκύριακο, από ένα δύσκολο Σαββατοκύριακο, όπως λέει και η ίδια. Όμως εμάς μας ευχαριστεί πολύ και θα είναι μαζί μας για να πει αυτά που πρέπει να πει. So, Annie, first of all, I think that at the end of the day, it was a very stressful week. It was a very intense week. It was a week that there was anxiety regarding the outcome of the rally, the outcome of the demonstration. But at the end of the day, I think Saturday night, everybody went home happy, and you're proud for what you achieved.
Yes, stressful and anxious is definitely an understatement for what this week has been like, not only for me, but for most of the Armenian diaspora and for our families and friends who are back home in Armenia and in Artsakh. And you know, a stressful week for me here is nothing compared to what the families in Armenia are going through. And so this is absolutely the least that I can do if it means spending the entire week planning with our committee a massive march of almost 3,000 people. Yes, there was stress, but that's nothing compared to what our heroes on the front lines are going through and what the families are going through, and so, you know, we would do anything for them.
Ρωτήσαμε την Άννη αν ήταν μια αγχωτική εβδομάδα, γιατί ήτανε, και μια εβδομάδα δύσκολη με το άγχος για να πετύχει η διαδήλωση. Η ίδια μας είπε αυτό είναι understatement. Το άγχος, είχε πολύ άγχος και η ίδια και τα άλλα παιδιά στην ομάδα και η διασπορά όλη των Αρμενίων και για τις οικογένειες που είναι πίσω, όμως τίποτα δεν συγκρίνεται με αυτό το οποίο νιώθουν οι Αρμένοι αδελφοί τους πίσω στο Αρτσάχ, πίσω στην πρώτη γραμμή του πολέμου. Αυτά τα οποία ζουνε είναι το λιγότερο που θα μπορούσαμε να κάνουμε, λέει η Άννη, και είμαστε χαρούμενοι που μαζέψαμε πάνω από 3.000 ανθρώπους, αλλά επαναλαμβάνω, λέει, ότι δεν είναι τίποτα αυτό το άγχος μπροστά στο άγχος το οποίο περνάνε τα αδέλφια μας στην πρώτη γραμμή του πολέμου. So, we see all these days the diaspora of Armenia on the first line. We saw what happened yesterday and the days before in Los Angeles. That was amazing. We saw what happened in Washington, D.C. Of course, we experienced what happened in New York. So, what is the message that comes out of these events?
So, our message we wanted to make very clear. This protest specifically was for the media, because the media has done one of two things. They have either decided to stay silent on the matter and not get involved at all because it doesn't seem important enough to them to report on what's going on. You know, they're focused on the pandemic, they're focused on the election. So we want to urge the media to actually cover what is going on in Artsakh. And second, those who are reporting are unfortunately reporting extremely inaccurate information. It's very clear that there is a bias towards Azerbaijan. They are not reporting the truth, and so the headline of our march was "Report the Truth," because the things that they're reporting compared to what is actually going on shows that the media unfortunately has a very different agenda and a very different message that they are trying to get across. And so they have not reported at all about Azerbaijan's war crimes. They have not reported on the cluster bombs, the illegal cluster bombs that Azerbaijan is using to shell Stepanakert and Shushi. And they have destroyed one of our sacred cathedrals in Shushi called Razamshetov. No one has reported on that. And those who did are using verbiage like they accuse each other, or the two countries clash, or Armenians are occupying this territory, which is ridiculous because any historian knows that Artsakh is the indigenous Armenian ancestral land. We've been here since the 7th century, and saying that Armenians have been occupying this land is equivalent of saying that Native Americans are colonizers to the United States. So our message was for the media to report the truth, to stop following their agenda and do their job. Their job as a journalist is to tell the truth and to fight for what's right. And unfortunately, that's not what we're seeing right now.
Αυτό που λέει η Άννη είναι πολύ συγκεκριμένο. Λέει, η συγκέντρωση την οποία κάναμε το Σάββατο, θέλαμε να στείλουμε ένα καθαρό μήνυμα στα media. Ότι πρέπει να αλλάξουν στάση. Γιατί μέχρι τώρα τα media κάνανε ένα από τα δύο. Είτε παρέμεναν σιωπηλά απέναντι στο τι συμβαίνει στο Αρτσάχ και τις επιθέσεις των Αζέρων και Τούρκων, και δεν μιλούσανε, προβάλλοντας άλλα θέματα, θεωρώντας ότι δεν είναι σημαντικό το θέμα και προβάλλοντας για παράδειγμα το θέμα της πανδημίας και των εκλογών, αλλά εκεί σταματούσανε. Ή όταν κάναν report τις ιστορίες αυτές, εκεί εξαφανίζαν την αλήθεια. Εκεί χρησιμοποιούσαν βεβαιασμένες αλήθειες. Εκεί χρησιμοποιούσαν διαφορετικά πράγματα από αυτά τα οποία συμβαίνουν και χρησιμοποιούσαν, λέει η Άννη, ιστορίες υπέρ του Αζερμπαϊτζάν. Υπάρχει μια συγκεκριμένη ατζέντα στα media, όπως λέει. Δεν αναφέραν καθόλου τα media στην Αμερική και στον κόσμο για τις παράνομες βόμβες που χρησιμοποιούνται και είναι απαγορευμένες από το 2010 και έχουμε πει και από αυτή την εκπομπή εδώ πέρα για αυτές τις βόμβες. Δεν αναφέραν πουθενά ότι οι Αζέροι και οι Τούρκοι βομβάρδισαν τον καθεδρικό ναό στο Σούσι. Ότι βομβαρδίζουν στόχους αμάχων στο Στεπάνα Κέρτ. Και όταν μιλήσανε για τον πόλεμο, παρουσιάζαν μια κατάσταση μεταξύ δύο χωρών που πολεμάνε, έχουν δίκαια και άδικα, και μιλήσαν βεβαίως και για το ανιστόρητο επιχείρημα ότι οι Αρμένοι ουσιαστικά παρανόμως κατέχουν το Αρτσάχ. Το Αρτσάχ όμως, για όποιον έχει λίγη γνώση ιστορίας, καταλαβαίνουμε όλοι ότι οι Αρμένοι είναι indigenous population, είναι ένας πληθυσμός ο οποίος βρίσκεται εκεί από αρχαιοτά των χρόνων και όπως λέει χαρακτηριστικά είναι σαν να λέει κάποιος ότι οι Ινδιάνοι στην Αμερική ήρθανε και ήταν απικιοκράτες. Μα οι Ινδιάνοι της Αμερικής, σε αυτούς ανήκε η Αμερική. Είναι πολύ καθαρό το επιχείρημα της Άννη, η οποία επίσης λέει έτσι με ιδιαίτερη ένταση αυτό το οποίο συζητήσαμε νωρίτερα, ότι το θέμα του συλλαλητηρίου ήταν τα media επιτέλους να κάνουν τη δουλειά τους, να πούνε δηλαδή την αλήθεια, να πούνε αυτό το οποίο συμβαίνει, αυτό το οποίο γίνεται. Αυτό ζητήσαμε και αυτό απαιτήσαμε, όπως λέει η ίδια. Να πούμε λοιπόν ότι έχουμε μαζί μας την ηθοποιό Άννη Djirdjirian, η οποία είναι μαζί μας και η οποία θα μας πει πολλά και ενδιαφέροντα. Άννη, regarding the outcome now, do you feel that the mission accomplished? Do you feel that the American media got the story? Because we saw some, even small, but at least we saw some parts in the American media, in the New York media in particular.
So we did get coverage both at the march and after the march, and they interviewed a few of our committee members who are so well spoken and who really know what they're talking about, and they ended up not airing those interviews, those very quick 2-3 minute interviews. While they did cover the protest, again, they reported the exact opposite of what we were asking of them. ABC7 did report on the march because we were protesting right in front of them. And what they ended up writing in their article was, the Armenians say that Turkey is involved. And they said that both Azerbaijan and Armenia accuse each other of violating the ceasefire. So again, they might have reported, but it was still the completely incorrect verbiage. They still refused to actually hold Azerbaijan and Turkey accountable for what they're doing. They're still making it seem like this is an even playing field. They haven't mentioned once that this is 95 million Azeris and Turks, plus their hired Syrian jihadists, against 3.5 million Armenians. You know, so someone who doesn't know anything about the circumstance, they're going to read what the mainstream media is writing, and they're going to think, oh wow, 2 countries in the Middle East fighting each other again. You know, what else is new? Because they're making it seem like we are equal. But what the media fails to mention is that we are a small country and we have no reason to provoke anyone. And so writing things like they accuse each other and Armenia is the aggressor, which couldn't be that true, is extremely misleading to the average Joe who genuinely doesn't have any information about that region and the true history.
Αυτό το οποίο λέει η Άννη είναι ότι υπήρξε κάλυψη από τα media, από το ABC. Το ABC όμως και πάλι ήταν biased. Και πάλι για παράδειγμα, ενώ δώσαν συνεντεύξεις μέλη της Επιτροπής, δεν τις προβάλλανε. Προσπαθήσαν πάλι να εξισώσουν την ευθύνη των δύο χωρών και προσπαθήσανε να παρουσιάσουν ότι είναι ένας πόλεμος με δύο χώρες οι οποίες εμπλέκονται, αλλά δεν είπανε πουθενά ότι έχουμε 95 εκατομμύρια Αζέρους και Τούρκους μαζί με τζιχαντιστές του ISIS οι οποίοι πολεμάνε στο πλευρό του Αζερβαϊτζάν. Δεν είπανε ότι οι Αρμένοι είναι μόλις 3,5 εκατομμύρια και δεν έχουν κανένα λόγο να προβοκάρουν κάποιον για να δημιουργήσουν πόλεμο. Οπότε δεν μπορεί να εξισώνεις αυτά τα δύο. Είμαστε μια μικρή χώρα, λέει, δεν προκαλούμε κανέναν. Εμάς μας προκαλούνε, αλλά δυστυχώς ακόμα μια φορά τα media λένε, ακόμα και όταν πάνε να παρουσιάσουν κάτι, δεν λένε την αλήθεια όπως πρέπει, δεν ενημερώνουν τον κόσμο όπως πρέπει για αυτούς οι οποίοι δεν γνωρίζουν. However, Annie, what I said before on my show is that despite the fact that the media, and I work in the media, but I will not hide the truth that the media, I'm ashamed of my colleagues. I'm not proud for the media in America, I'm not proud for the media in Greece, I'm not proud for the media all over the world. And I have the courage to say this. However, it appears that we have a proverb in Greece saying a smart guy can find a different way if one way is blocked. And I use the word block because something happened in Brooklyn Bridge and the situation got slightly better for us. I want you to talk to us about it.
Yes. So directly after the march, there were a number of people who, and we didn't plan this. This was not part of our plans for the march from NBC to ABC. But a number of people were fired up, and rightfully so. And they decided, you know what? If they won't listen to us, we are going to make them listen to us. So a number of people drove to the Brooklyn Bridge, and with a big U-Haul, they blocked it.
I think that they lost their way, right? That was by mistake.
But did they lose their way? They might have gotten lost, and they just happened to end up on the Brooklyn Bridge, I guess.
So what happened there?
So while the protesters blocked the Brooklyn Bridge, yes, it was an inconvenience for many people who were trying to drive across the bridge, but at the same time, I think of all the injustices that have happened, at least in this country and all around the world, and how oftentimes, in order to make noise, you have to do something that's going to get people's attention, even if it means that it's not it doesn't seem like the right way to do it, even if it seems like people will reprimand you after doing that. We think of Rosa Parks and how the black community was not allowed to sit at the front of the bus. And what did Rosa Parks do? She sat at the front of the bus. That was illegal, and she technically broke the law. But something that some people need to remember is that just because something is a law, it doesn't mean that it is necessarily ethical. And so this is one of the cases where blocking the Brooklyn Bridge was definitely an inconvenience for many people. But my family and friends dying in Armenia and our south is also an inconvenience for me. The media not reporting on Turkey's plan to conquer Armenia and complete their pan-Turkism agenda, which is to connect all the Turkic countries, and Armenia's in the way, so they have to get rid of Armenia and all Armenians that inhabit Armenia and Artsakh. It's also inconvenient for the media to not report on that. And the consequences that come with not reporting on that are the deaths of our family and friends who are on the front lines right now. So, yes, maybe it might have been an inconvenience to people who were on the Brooklyn Bridge, but it simply got people's attention and it forced them to listen to us.
And it went over to 1.5 million cell phones through the application of Citizen. I mean, today, even if the media doesn't want to play something, we have different ways, and I think that was the best way at the end of the day.
Yeah, I would agree, because it certainly did bring media attention to them. But yet, our work is unfortunately not over. You know, we protested in front of NBC and ABC, and although they tried to appease us with the coverage that they gave at the end of the day, that wasn't enough. And so while we were there, we said to them, if we do not get truthful media coverage, we will be here again and again, and you will keep seeing us until you do what's right.
I agree. Ρωτήσαμε λοιπόν την Άννη Djirdjirian, την αγαπημένη φίλη, τι έγινε στο Brooklyn Bridge, αυτό το οποίο σας περιέγραψα προηγουμένως. Και όπως χιουμοριστικά απαντήσαμε και οι δύο, ένα φορτηγάκι U-Haul έχασε το δρόμο του, κάποιοι ακολούθησαν, έκλεισαν τον δρόμο, έκλεισαν την Brooklyn Bridge και ήταν ένα μήνυμα απέναντι στις αδικίες. Οφείλεις να κάνεις θόρυβο, οφείλεις να κερδίσεις την προσοχή αυτών που δεν σε προσέχουν, που δεν ασχολούνται, ακόμα και αν αυτό μπορεί να μην είναι σωστό, ακόμα και αν κλείσεις τον δρόμο, και αυτό είναι inconvenient για κάποιους ανθρώπους. Αν αυτό δεν αν είναι άβολο, αν θέλετε, είναι, όπως λέει και η ίδια, είναι άβολο που κάποιοι κλείστηκαν για λίγο στο Brooklyn Bridge, αλλά για την ίδια είναι ακόμα πιο άβολο που μέλη της οικογένειάς της πολεμάνε για τη ζωή τους απέναντι στον Τούρκο και στον Αζέρο. Είναι inconvenient για την ίδια και για τους ανθρώπους που ψάχνουν την αλήθεια, ότι τα media παρουσιάζουν την Τουρκία και δεν μιλάνε για το σχέδιό της του παντουρκισμού, που θέλει να κατακτήσει την Αρμενία, να φύγει από τα πόδια της η Αρμενία, για να μπορέσουν επιτέλους να δημιουργήσουν, να ολοκληρώσουν το σχέδιο του Κεμάλ Ατατούρκ και να κάνουν μια Τουρκία μεγάλη, ολοκληρώνοντας τη γενοκτονία ουσιαστικά. Όπως λέει λοιπόν, μέσω του Citizen, του application αυτού, 1,5 εκατομμύριο άνθρωποι μάθανε, ενημερωθήκανε, αλλά όπως λέει, it's not over. Δεν έχει τελειώσει ακόμα. Και δεν έχει τελειώσει ακόμα γιατί πήγαμε έξω από την έδρα τους, έξω από το NBC, έξω από το ABC, και πάλι δεν μας δώσανε την δύναμη της ενημέρωσης και την αλήθεια της ενημέρωσης την οποία χρειαζόμασταν, όπως λέει χαρακτηριστικά η Άννη. So, Annie, we saw on the protest Armenians of every age. We saw also Greeks, we saw Cypriots with their flags, they were there. How did you feel knowing that at this tough moment you were not there alone, and there are some people like the Greeks who stood by you and stand by you and will stand by you? I can ensure about that.
There are moments where humanity can be so ugly and so sad and do some of the most horrific things, but then there are also the moments where I am so grateful for human kindness, and I think that was one of those moments where seeing all of these non-Armenians, seeing all of these Greeks and Cypriots and Serbians and just Americans, just non-Armenian Americans who came out to support us, that was one of the most incredible feelings, because in a time like this, it is so easy for us to feel like we are screaming into the void and no one's listening to us, because that's really what we've been met with. We've been screaming and no one's been hearing us. But then to see people from so many different countries and cultures, as well as different states, drive in to this protest just to support us, I mean, it meant the world to us. And I hope that you guys know that Armenians are always going to stand with you guys. Armenians are always going to stand with Greece, with Cyprus. We are with you. We are your brothers and sisters.
Ρωτήσαμε την Άννη πώς ένιωσε όταν είδε ελληνικές σημαίες, κυπριακές σημαίες, όταν είδε να μην είναι μόνοι τους εκεί. Και λέει, υπάρχουν στιγμές που η ανθρωπότητα είναι πάρα πολύ άσχημη και δείχνει ένα πολύ άσχημο πρόσωπο. Υπάρχουν όμως και στιγμές που είμαι, λέει, ευγνωμονώ τον Θεό, που η ανθρωπότητα βγάζει μια ευγένεια, μια καλοσύνη. Και όταν έβλεπα Έλληνες, Κύπριους, Σέρβους, Αμερικάνους να έρχονται εκεί πέρα να σταθούν στο πλευρό μας, τότε πραγματικά ένιωθα αυτή την αγάπη. Φωνάζαμε και δεν ακουγόμαστε μόνο μεταξύ μας, αλλά και σε αυτούς τους ανθρώπους Ήρθαν άνθρωποι από άλλες χώρες και ήρθαν άνθρωποι και από άλλες πολιτείες και ήταν στο πλευρό μας. Θέλω να πω ότι εμείς οι Αρμένοι, λέει η Άννη, θα είμαστε στο πλευρό της Ελλάδος, θα είμαστε στο πλευρό της Κύπρου, σε ό,τι χρειαστούν, όπως ήμασταν, έτσι θα είμαστε. Άννη, I will say that we know our common history, we know our common roots, Greece and Armenia. In 1915, it was the genocide of Armenia. A few years after, we had the genocide of the Greek Pontians. After came the genocide of the Greeks in Minor Asia, of the Assyrians, of the Greeks in Thrace. So we know we've been together on this boat, and we know all these years how many things in common we have with Armenia. There are so many Armenians who live in Greece, who came to Greece, and they became a part of the Greek community, of the Greek society, and each one of us has friends who are Armenians, and we know at this point that somebody is attacking our brothers, and if we stay silent at this very time, believe me, we will be equally guilty of the crime that is taking place. And I think this is a point that we should make, that right now people who decide to stay silent are the people who also are participating in this crime against Artsakh, against Armenia, right?
I'm sorry, you just cut out. I didn't hear the last thing you said.
I mean that at the end of the day, we know that we know the common history of Armenia and Greece all these years. We know everything that is taking place with the genocides, with everything that happened, and at the very same time, we know that our brothers Armenians are under scrutiny. They're under attack. If we stay silent, we will be equally guilty, because at this point, silence is cooperating with the criminals, right?
Absolutely, 100%. And I also want to say, I am so glad that we were able to have you speak at our protest, because you were absolutely incredible, and the feeling of unity that our crowd and that our committee and that everyone felt with you and with Greeks and just Armenians in general was absolutely incredible, and I think something that a lot of us really needed right now, just to know that we're not alone, because on the battlefield at the moment we are alone, and it seems as though the world is watching while Armenia has to fight Azeris and the terrorists that Turkey has hired, all on their own, using Soviet-era weapons because we don't have the money for other fancy things. So yes, I would agree that those who stay silent now are allowing for this to happen at some point again in the future. And Turkey and Erdogan have made it very clear that they have no intention of stopping at just Armenia. Just a couple of weeks ago, Erdogan said publicly, Jerusalem belongs to us. So whatever that means to you, it means that when they're done and finished with Armenia, they're going to move on to any other place that they can, because they are trying to revive the Ottoman Empire, and they are attempting to, again, conquer lands that are not theirs. But now it's in the 21st century, and we cannot ignore it. So those who are ignoring it, those who are ignoring the statements being made by Aliyev and by Erdogan about hating Armenians and wanting to rid the world of Armenians, it's impossible to ignore at this point, and it's impossible to ignore what their agenda is. And so staying silent is absolutely not an option.
Αυτό το οποίο λέει η Άννη συμφωνεί μαζί μας, ότι το να το βουλώσει κάποιος τώρα, το να μείνει σιωπηλός τώρα είναι συνένοχος. Ευχαρίστησε και εμένα προσωπικά που ήμουν εκεί πέρα μέσα στην Επιτροπή, και η παρουσία μου ως ένας Έλληνας έδωσε δύναμη σε αυτήν την Επιτροπή, ή όταν ανεβήκαμε πάνω και μιλήσαμε έδωσε δύναμη στην όλη προσπάθεια, γιατί λέει εκεί που αρχίσαμε να νιώθουμε μόνοι, καταλάβαμε ότι δεν είμαστε μόνοι μας. Ευχαρίστησε και την ευχαριστώ για τα καλά της λόγια. Δεν έχουμε τα λεφτά τα οποία έχουν οι Αζέροι ή οι Τούρκοι, όμως έχουμε την αλήθεια με το μέρος μας. Πριν από λίγες μέρες ο Ερντογάν είπε ότι η Ιερουσαλήμ είναι δικιά μας. μετά την Αρμενία θα ακολουθήσουν και άλλοι, θα ακολουθήσει η Ελλάδα, θα ακολουθήσει το Ισραήλ. Δεν σταματάνε πουθενά. Δεν μπορούμε να αγνοήσουμε αυτό το μήνυμα. Δεν μπορούμε να κλείσουμε τα μάτια στον Αλίεφ και στον Ερντογάν. Είναι αδύνατο να κλείσουμε τα μάτια. At this point, I know that you have a great voice, okay? Before continuing with a few more questions, and thank you so much for your time, I would love to hear one song in Armenian from you. I just want, you said how happy you were when I spoke there, but I was crying, and I told you that after the event. I was crying when you got on the stage. You were singing not with your mouth, but with your heart, with your soul. That was so amazing. I've been in many similar events, but that was unique what you did up there. So, if you're kind enough, and I know you're kind enough, to sing something for us in Armenian, and that would be awesome, just to take a breath. And I think that would be very beautiful for people that are listening, Greeks from all over the world. Elas FM is a radio station that is all over the world, and also from Armenians. Armenians from Greece, Armenians from Australia, I'm receiving messages, Armenians from here, the States. So, something to listen from you and travel with you, closing our eyes to the beautiful land of Artsakh, to the beautiful land of Armenia.
Thank you, Dimitris. Yes, I will absolutely sing something for you guys. I really appreciate your kind sentiments. I will sing Sareri Hovi Mejnem, which translates to I would die for our mountains. And that is absolutely true.
And I think one of the banners was saying that Armenia is our mountains. Our mountains is Armenia, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That is a very famous saying in Armenia.
Excellent. So, we're eager to listen to you.
Thank you, Dimitris.
I mean, if I say anything on that, it's not enough. So thank you so much. I mean, the comments and on right now in the chat room are amazing. Many of them in Armenian, many of them in Greek, many of them in English. But I think there is one language, the language of the heart, the language of the soul, the language of our feelings for our homeland. And this is something that is amazing. You are amazing. And at this point, Annie, after I say for one more time that amazing performance, just this, and I promise that after Artsakh wins this war, we will have an interview about your career in New York. as an actress and as a performer. So we will not talk about politics, about the war. We will celebrate by talking about your career, which is also very interesting. We saw that there is an attempt to collect money, to get money to help your people back in Artsakh, back in Armenia. And to be honest, this was one of my comments before regarding Greek superstars, who are not superstars anyway, singers and performers and actors and actresses, that they all refuse to talk about our homeland, refuse to talk about our nation. And now we see a woman that you can like or not like her with what she's doing, but she offered $1 million for her own people. She didn't forget her people. And of course I'm talking about Kim Kardashian. Give me a comment about Kim Kardashian, her Armenian heritage, and also how can somebody help with collecting money and helping this fund for the Armenian people?
Yes, absolutely. So the best place to donate is armeniafund.org/donate. And every cent goes directly to the Ministry of Defense. And they're in dire need of medical supplies. They need a more weaponry. They need to help our soldiers who are wounded. So the best place to donate is armeniafund.org/donate. And any amount helps. Now, for Kim Kardashian, everyone's going to have mixed feelings on her. But right now, as an Armenian, I must say I am extremely, extremely proud of what she has done, because something that people are not seeing is the cyber war that Azerbaijani youth and Turkish youth have waged on us. So now Armenians are not only fighting on the front lines in the battlefield, but the youth and the diaspora is now fighting against the cyber attacks by the Azeris and the Turks. They're hacking into accounts. They have these bots and these trolls that are just flooding hundreds and hundreds of threatening comments and misinformation and brainwashed history onto anyone's post that attempts to support Armenia. And so Kim Kardashian is not one of the people who is exempt from those attacks. So while my friends and I get those comments on our Help Armenia, Help Artsakh posts, a number of celebrities who have tried to show their support for Armenia and Artsakh and Armenians have also gotten these types of threatening comments and very much just misinformation in general all over their posts. So Elton John, for example, he posted a red square, which we were posting to raise awareness on what's going on in Artsakh, and he said, he stands with Armenians, he supports us, and he's with us. And not 24 hours later, he took the post down because his comments were just flooded with absolutely awful things. And again, for someone who may not know the true history, if we're outnumbered both on the battlefield and online, and there's not enough of us to say what's really happening, and these bots and trolls are just taking over and telling them the made-up history that their government has fed to them since birth, what are they going to believe? Someone who only sees those posts and sees an overwhelming amount of them is going to think, oh no, am I on the wrong side of history? Look at all these angry Azeris. Why did I anger them? Maybe I'm wrong. Well, that's not the case. They're not wrong. Their posts have just been taken over with a very strategic cyber attack. And so they did the same thing to Kim Kardashian as well. And the reason why I say this is because the fact that after all of these posts and threatening comments, and I'm sure DMs as well, and attacks on their business pages, something that they're doing is they're going to these celebrities' business pages, like KKW Beauty, for example, and they're posting bad reviews because we all know that money talks. So if they're going to get an overwhelming number of bad reviews on what generates money for them, then they're obviously going to be willing to take down whatever post it is if it means they're not going to lose any money. So the fact that after all of this, Kim Kardashian still came out and supported her country, and she's half Armenian, by the way. She's not fully Armenian, and for a lot of people who are half Armenian, they might not feel completely connected to our culture and our history and our country. So for her to take this stand publicly and donate $1 million to our people, I think is truly incredible, and I think it says a lot about her perseverance and her willingness to ignore these comments, because she knows that this is something that's more important than just comments on a post.
Αυτό το οποίο λέει η Άννη στο ερώτημά μας για την Kim Kardashian και το ταμείο, πώς μπορεί κάποιος να βοηθήσει, Armenia Fund, κάθετος donate, όλα τα λεφτά πηγαίνουν στο Υπουργείο Εθνικής Άμυνας, πηγαίνουν για προμήθειες σε ιατροφαρμακευτικό εξοπλισμό, σε όπλα και σε ό,τι ακόμα χρειάζονται στην πρώτη γραμμή του μετώπου οι Αρμένοι. Είναι πάρα πολύ περήφανοι για την Kim Kardashian, αλλά λέει ότι υπάρχει ένα θέμα, γιατί οι Αζέροι και οι Τούρκοι, η νεολαία τους στη διασπορά, προχωράει σε cyber attacks, δηλαδή επιτίθεται στον κυβερνοχώρο, στο ίντερνετ. Και τι κάνει? Πηγαίνει λοιπόν και προσπαθεί να κάνει bullying σε αυτούς οι οποίοι μιλάνε υπέρ της Αρμενίας. Ο Έλτον Τζον, για παράδειγμα, πήγε και είπε υπέρ του Αρτσάχ και της Αρμενίας. Την άλλη μέρα γράψαν από κάτω τόσα άσχημα σχόλια Αζέροι και Τούρκοι που αναγκάστηκε να κατεβάσει το post. Επίσης, όπως λέει, έτσι έχουν γαλουχηθεί αυτά τα παιδιά. Δεν ξέρουν ποια είναι η αλήθεια, δεν ξέρουν ποιο είναι το καλό, δεν ξέρουν τι είναι αυτό το οποίο πραγματικά έχει σημασία, και έχουν μπερδέψει, γιατί τους έχει γίνει brainwash, τους έχει γίνει πλήση εγκεφάλου. Και όπως λέει και η Kim Kardashian έκανε την αναφορά για το 1 εκατομμύριο και τα δίνει, και μπράβο της, παρότι είναι μισοαρμένια, δεν είναι 100% Αρμένισσα, και όμως νιώθει Αρμένισσα 100%, και πήγαν και κάναν επιθέσεις με bad reviews, με κακές κριτικές στα προϊόντα της, στις εταιρείες της, γιατί προσπαθούν να χτυπήσουν οικονομικά, γιατί αυτό πονάει. Και όμως η ίδια διατήρησε την προσφορά της και είμαστε υπόχρεοι σε αυτό, λέει η Άννη. Και βεβαίως at this point, Annie, at the end of the rally the other day, we said that there are some moves we can do towards Turkish products. What are these moves?
Yes. Turkey has products that they sell all over the world. And one thing that is most important for us right now, in order to stand united with Armenians and with Artsakh, is not to buy Turkish products. If you have Turkish products, get rid of them. But most importantly, check the labels of everything that you're buying. And if you see products of Turkey or made in Turkey, do not buy it. And the reason for this is that it is known that the money that they make off of these types of international purchases that we make from their country, that money, just like their tourism money, goes directly back to their military. And so that's money going back to their country and being used to kill innocent civilians, not just of Armenia, but of so many other countries. And one way that we can support not just Armenians, but people who are being targeted all over the world by Turkey, is to not buy their products. And that includes some of the clothing at Zara. I know us young gals, we love Zara, but check the labels. Half of their stuff is made in Turkey, and I absolutely urge you, do not buy products made in Turkey, because you are directly supporting them and their military.
Όπως λέει η Άννη που τη ρωτήσαμε με ποιον τρόπο μπορούμε να κάνουμε μποϊκοτάζ, λέει κάνουμε μποϊκοτάζ, αυτό ήταν και το μήνυμα του συλλαλητηρίου, κάνουμε μποϊκοτάζ στα τουρκικά προϊόντα. Οι Τούρκοι έχουν πάρα πολλά προϊόντα και τους πονάει όταν τους χτυπάει στην οικονομία. Πετάμε και δεν αγοράζουμε τουρκικά προϊόντα, δεν αγοράζουμε προϊόντα τα οποία τα χρήματα πηγαίνουν κατευθείαν στον τουρκικό στρατό, κατευθείαν πηγαίνουν εναντίον της Αρμενίας, της Ελλάδος, της Κύπρου και κάθε χώρας που είναι στο μάτι του κυκλώνα. Ακόμα και τα Ζάρα, τα ρούχα, τα πιο πολλά είναι φτιαγμένα στην Τουρκία. Μπορεί να μας αρέσει η μάρκα. Δεν πηγαίνουμε, γιατί έτσι χρηματοδοτούμε ουσιαστικά την Τουρκία και την επεκτατικότητά της. So Annie, for the end, for one more time, I would like to thank you. I would like to express my gratitude for making me a part of this beautiful struggle, and we will be there with you guys. We will be there till the end. I want you to talk to the audience, to the Greeks all over the world. What is your message to them regarding what is happening? What is the message you want to communicate? And what would you like to say about what is taking place in Artsakh?
Hi, Greeks all over the world. I know you're all there. I know you're all listening. The first thing that I want to say is that we love you. We love you. We support you. And as Dimitris said, we share a history. We share a history of violence, unfortunately, against our people. We share a history of extermination. And as this is beginning to repeat itself, know that as Turkey attempts to get closer to you guys as well, we are with you and you are not alone. And your support for us means everything. In any way possible, whatever you need from the Armenian community, we will stand with you.
Ρωτήσαμε το μήνυμα της Άννη Djirdjirian ποιο είναι, κλείνοντας. Έλληνες, λέει, σας αγαπάμε. Ευχαριστούμε για αυτήν την στήριξη. Σας στηρίζουμε και εμείς. Όπως είπα και εγώ νωρίτερα, αυτό επαναλαμβάνει η Άννη, ότι ουσιαστικά μοιραζόμαστε την ίδια ιστορία βίας σε βάρος μας, ιστορία εξόντωσης και γενοκτονιών. Είμαστε κοντά σας και θα είμαστε κοντά σας, και εμείς με την δική σας παρουσία νιώθουμε πιο δυνατοί. Annie, it was a pleasure, it was great having you on the air of Elas FM. I want to say again, keep the good work, keep fighting for your people back in Artsakh, back in Armenia. My message is from this radio every morning that Artsakh was, is, and will stay Armenian, because this is the true side of the story. Thank you so much for everything, and at the end, thank you, because you Armenians taught us or reminded us that it doesn't matter how many you are, it doesn't matter how rich you are or not, it doesn't matter how strong the opponent is or the enemy. What really matters is what you have inside your soul, your heart, and how much you love your country. And you proved all this time, almost more than 2 weeks now, that you are not afraid to fight and to die for what is the ultimate sacred point in our life, our homeland, the ancestors, and the next generations. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much, Dimitris. Thank you for having me and for allowing me to speak on all of these. And if I may, I do have one last thing that I'd like to say. If there are any Turkish or Azeri youth who are listening to this, who happen to come across this, I'd like to urge you to be brave and to stand against your government, because we know that you are oppressed too, and we know that you don't want this, and that you have been oppressed for the majority of the life that you have lived. And if you find the bravery to stand up for what's right, we will support you. That's it.
That's very correct. Αυτό που λέει η Άννη είναι ότι εάν μας ακούει κάποιος Τούρκος ή Αζέρος νεολαίος, πρέπει να καταλάβει ότι να έχουν τη δύναμη να σταθούν απέναντι, να σηκώσουν κεφάλι απέναντι στην κυβέρνησή τους, η οποία τους καταπιέζει και τους ίδιους, να έχουν τη δύναμη να σηκώσουν κεφάλι απέναντι σε αυτούς τους δικτάτορες, οι οποίοι πράττουν αυτά που πράττουν. Annie, thank you so much to all the Armenian people, our love, our support, and I think anything we can do to support you financially, anything to do to support you morally, anything we can do to support you in any way, we're here to help. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and all the best with good news from the front line, and this war to stop as soon as possible with the victory of the Armenian people.
Thank you so much. You're absolutely incredible, Dimitris. From your mouth to God's ears.
Thank you so much. Next time I will speak more Armenian, I promise. It's not easy, but I promise I will do my best.
You're gonna be great.
And one of the messages I get right now, Annie, you are a Greek Armenian, so that's good.
Oh, thank you.
Honorary Greek Armenian. Thank you so much.
Honorary Greek. Thank you.
Enjoy your day, and again from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything and for being with us this morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day.
Φίλες και φίλοι, μαζί μας ήταν η Άννη Djirdjirian, η οποία είναι εξαιρετική ηθοποιός, εξαιρετική καλλιτέχνης, αλλά πάνω απ' όλα πατριώτισσα, αγαπώντας αυτήν την πατρίδα. Την ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ που μοιράστηκε αυτές τις σκέψεις μαζί μας. Την ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ που έστειλε αυτά τα μηνύματα. Ο Ελλάς FM, σε αντίθεση με τα μέσα ενημέρωσης στην Ελλάδα ή στην Αμερική, θα συνεχίσει να προβάλλει την αλήθεια όπως είναι. Πάμε λοιπόν σε ένα διαφημιστικό διάλειμμα. Επιστρέφουμε με Roots Race, με το τι γίνεται με τον όλον χαμό, που η κατάσταση πραγματικά είναι δραματική. Οι Τούρκοι είναι εκτός ελέγχου.
Հերոսներ դուք իմ ջահեր, այլ դառնալ դուք չեք հասցրել, բայց և ձեր կյանքի գնով հաղթանակն ունի հասցրել։ Հերոսներ այսօր էլ կան, որ կրկին պերկին ներկան, ու այրան ստորագրեցին, որ այսօր է հայկական։
Διαφιλονικούμενη περιοχή το Αρτσάχ για τους ακάφρους δημοσιογράφους των Αθηνών. Διαφιλονικούμενη περιοχή το Καστελόριζο πριν από λίγη ώρα για τον Γερμανό κυβερνητικό εκπρόσωπο. Ακριβώς έτσι. Πάμε σε διαφημίσεις και επανερχόμαστε. Έχουμε να πούμε πολλά. Μείνετε συντονισμένοι.